A Haysville man is sentenced to more than 17 years in prison after prosecutors say he directed someone living in Australia to create child sexual abuse material and then send it to him. Ronald Waltrip pleaded guilty to one count of conspiracy to commit sexual exploitation of a child. As part of his sentence, Waltrip will have a lifetime of supervised release. Court documents show Waltrip used social media to exchange messages with the man in Australia. The messages show that Waltrip asked the man about a 6-year-old and directed him to engage in sexual acts with the child. The man in Australia complied.